Hey Aries, welcome to your July tarot session. Thank you so much for joining me today. I miss you guys. I'm very excited for today's message. I was checking in with my guides and trying to be, as intentional as possible with today's channeling. So I asked my guides, send me something for Aries. I did that last week with Sagittarius, and a few hours after asking, I received there was this moose just walking next to me when I was driving. And an hour ago, I asked, is there something for Aries today? And the biggest moth I've ever seen in my life, and I'm gonna add a picture here so we can see it, landed on top of my door. It was almost as big as my hand. I've never seen one that big. And of course, I think like a lot of people know that moths are a very powerful symbol of transformation, death, and rebirth. And it was clear to me that this sign was for you, Aries. So I hope you're not grossed out by the moth picture. I felt it was important to share that with you. So I'm going to dive right in. I'm very interested I'm curious about what's coming up for you today. You guys know there's going to be an extended to this reading on Patreon. The link is always pinned in the comments. It's in the description box. I invite you to go check it out. There's an option to subscribe for free. There's a bunch of content for free. And of course, if you want to buy a subscription or if you want to get the extended individually, it's available to you there to get even more content. That's it. Thank you so much, by the way, for your support that you've shown me already. I have to build a smaller community outside of YouTube because there's a lot happening here. And some of my favorite creators got their channel removed for no reason, and I have to protect my business at the end of the day. So thank you. Thank you for joining me there, for your support. And let's start by picking the general energy for you in the month of July. July. It's clear to me with the moth message that you're going through a very profound transformation. Oh, the Seven of Wands and the Emperor at the bottom of the deck. The Emperor, of course, is your card in the tarot, but it's a symbol of birth. You are the first sign of the zodiac. You are embodying the new life. You are about a new cycle. Your energy is so much about that. And with the Seven of Wands here, this card to me is all about overcoming the odds against us. So it hasn't been easy. Clearly, the Emperor is not an easy energy to become this wise and this empowered. We have to get more comfortable with initiating change. I don't know if you felt stuck for a long time. There could be something about 4 years, feeling like things are moving very, very slow. You kind of know what you want. I feel like you're really starting to figure out, okay, I know this is what I want for my future, or I think this is what I want and need. And things have been moving kind of slow. Not anymore. This is very fiery. This is very quick, like rapid transformation and growth, and a clear rebirth with the Emperor. What I'm seeing here is a lot of masculine energy. It's not about gender. It really is about taking action. When we have so much masculine energy showing up at first, I feel like we need to be more receptive. We need to balance that with more, Venus energy. The Emperor is always looking for the Empress. He needs the Empress, and the Empress needs the power and the action that the Emperor takes. So here, I feel like maybe you've been doing a lot. Just really focusing on many different things at once and wanting something to happen as quickly as possible. And your guides are like, no, no, no. You need to calm down. Don't take this personally. Don't shoot the messenger. And be more present and really focus on that receptivity. I'd be curious to know what your Venus sign is. Or, in your chart, Libra and Taurus, where are they? But your personal Venus sign in your chart, I'd be very curious to know. I feel like maybe some of you have a Venus in maybe a more masculine energy or a fiery energy. So it is a challenge for you to be more patient and receptive at this time because, again, I think you're really clear on what you want and need and deserve. Two of Cups, yeah. This, to me, is the soulmate in the mirror. It's a card of self-love. Radically loving ourselves. It doesn't mean that we don't have bad days. It doesn't mean that, everything is perfect. But I think that this whole journey of you accepting who you are, accepting where all the decisions that you made in the past, where it led you. There's a lot of acceptance here. I think that the first 6 months of this year could have been so much about personal growth and figuring out, okay, where am I on this journey of acceptance and self-love? Am I really happy with the decisions I'm making now? I feel like maybe some of you paid the consequences for, I'm getting another person's decision and actions, as if you paid the price for another person's actions. Very specific. So it's interesting how we have a water card here with the Cups, but there's the Lion. There's so much fire again coming through. I think that this urgency and this fiery energy comes from your intuition knowing I'm almost there. Sun card, 8 of Wands, and there's this, the 6 of Cups here. So how are we balancing? Again, all this fire, how are we grounding this fire? Which is a message that's been coming up for you, I think, for years now. It's always part of the messages I get for you, this journey of Aries learning to ground the fire. Here, the Sun, the 8 of Wands, what you really want, what is aligned with your truth. Again, it's happening a lot sooner than you know. The thing is that you cannot live in the future. You cannot try to predict exactly when something is going to happen. That's not us being in a receptive state when we do that. The ego loves to be rushed. Only the ego is satisfied with rushing things. And with the 8 of Wands, again, this is another confirmation for me that things are moving very fast for you. There's a beautiful evolution from the 7 to the 8. Here it's like, I feel like I have to fight for what I want. I feel like everything I do is a battle at some point. And here with the 8 of Wands, we surrender to timing. We surrender to the timing of the universe. This is the only card in the tarot where there are no folks. There's nothing, just the wands, just the elements. And the best way, to understand this energy is when there's a package in the mail, but there's no specific dates. It's coming. You might be getting the notifications like, hey, there's another step. It might be coming up on that date, but who knows? There's so many delays. You know, I live in Québec, here in Canada. You know, all the mail stuff has been so crazy. We have no idea. There's like so much surrendering when we just order something online. I don't even order anything anymore because I'm just like, I'm the type of person who's gonna obsess and literally wait by the door for a package. And I hate that. I hate that I'm that way. But so here, there's this invitation to surrender to the timing of things. Your guides are saying it's happening fast, but with the Six of Cups here, this is a card of healing. And again, I think this sense of timing, you're healing your relationship with timing here. I think there's a lot of anger that's been pushed down because, again, there are things in the past that happened that were unfair. You're not just showing up as the Emperor for no reason. Yes, it is your card, but the Emperor, again, experienced so many ups and downs. It's a Mars energy. It's intense. And you don't get in that position without a lot of lessons. And you don't become that wise without challenges and loss and heartbreaks. That's all in the past. But still, the Six of Cups confirms that there's still a lot of healing happening. So every day, you figure out new things about yourself. You also, it feels like you're choosing to test your limits. I don't know why I'm getting this. It feels very specific. You're choosing to test your own limits. How far can I go? How big can I go? How powerful and magical can this get? Can this become? There's something here about really, again, understanding your own power, understanding the full-on potential. And the thing with potential is, what is potential if we don't take action? That's the thing. I know that a lot of people are saying, okay, Aries, you need to slow down. You need to calm down. You need to be more present. Don't rush. And you're like, this is just my nature. I know what I want. I know what I deserve. And again, what is purpose without taking action? So those messages are always coming up because I think it's so much about your shadow work. And for some reason, I do feel like there's a lot of darker aspects coming up for you when it comes to balancing your Mars energy with your Venus energy. I hope I'm making sense. There's a lot coming up. The darker side of Venus, to me, will always be about putting ourselves through something because we might get pleasure in the end. We might be satisfied in the end. Like we endure something in order to receive pleasure, in order to be satisfied at the end of the road. So everything we do is about the destination and not the journey. That could be the darker side of Venus for you. So again, I think it's challenging. I think it's confronting. And it's part of your shadow work. So it's not supposed to be comfortable. It's not supposed to be easy. And since, again, you are the first sign of the zodiac, you constantly go through deaths and rebirths. I feel like people associate Scorpio so much with transformation and death and rebirth. You guys have so much in common with Scorpio. And also, again, you are the energy of a newborn, the primal scream of a newborn. When we say that the Emperor is here to take up more space, it really connects with the sense of a baby that's just coming up in this world. Pressured into the birth canal, like pressured here. It's not comfortable to be born. It's not comfortable to go through personal deaths and rebirths and transformation. I think that the word transformation has been so glamorized in the spiritual world. It's not cute and it's not comfortable, but it liberates us. It gives us the permission to shed this layer that no longer fits us. Thank you, okay, for listening to my TED Talk. When I pick cards and I'm still talking about something else, there's a part of me that's like, okay, just shut up and move on. But I need to honor all the things that are coming up. So at the heart of your reading, and I'm laughing because I just picked the sun, and right under the sun, there's the moon. When I tell you, I cannot stress this enough, the goal is balance. The goal is not perfection. The goal is not to blame yourself or to pressure yourself into more change, more transformation. There's an invitation to flow and to let yourself make mistakes, let yourself have bad days. And I think that this transition from the sun to the moon, there's so much emotional maturity. And these days, when I think about emotional maturity, I really hear all the time in my mind, let them have their opinion of you. Let them judge. Let them compare. Let them project. It's none of your business. The fact that the moon is at the heart of your energy in the month of July is so interesting. Of course, it signifies that you don't know. You're not supposed to know. There's this expression in French, entre chien et loup. And if I translate it, it's in between dog and wolf. And that means when when outside there's this monochrome feeling and you don't really know what time of the day it is. It feels so weird. I don't know if you've ever experienced that. When you go outside and you're like, what? It's so monochrome. There's like, it's either dusk or dawn and you don't really know. There's this confusion here. It's like, you don't know. You're not supposed to. That's what the moon says. The moon in the tarot will always come up in your readings to say you're not supposed to know right now, and it's okay. It kind of validates and supports the sense of you are living in the unknown. And when the ego is rushing and obsessing over, again, the final ending, the destination, it's an invitation to come back home into presence. It's not that you're failing. It's not that you're not good enough. It really is an invitation, a gentle invitation to come back into presence and say, okay, now I can feel that my ego is time traveling. I can feel that I'm obsessing over what's coming. And also, you could be obsessing over the what ifs. You could be thinking about the past. And what ifs, this is all ego. It's all ego. There's no soul, there's no heart in the what ifs. And the thing with the ego, we want it because we need it at times. We just don't want it to be in the driver's seat of our lives. We want it to be in the back seat. It's there when we need it, when we have important big decisions and move to make, when it's time to take up more space. I feel like there's a lot of misconception with the ego also in the spiritual world. People, that makes me laugh, but they post videos and they claim that they experienced an ego death, as if one day your ego is just going to die and it just disappeared. No, it takes ego to even show up and create something and show it with the world. Just someone sharing about their ego death, there's ego in that. So we have to stop bashing the ego and again, give it a seat in the back seat. I think it's really important to not kill that part of ourselves or try to just ignore that part of human nature. It really is all about balance, which is very hard to maintain. And it's hard. Balance is not, again, that cute thing. Just like evolution and transformation and personal growth, it's not cute. Spiritual work is not cute. It really is challenging, and it's something that you constantly have to go back to. So the fact, again, that the moon is here at the heart, it's not easy. It's not. But there's a lot of change, a lot of flow. You're not going to be stuck on the same things. You're able to say, okay, today I'm focusing on something different. I'm going to be honoring the timing of the universe. I know good things are coming my way. Whenever you see the Eight of Wands, you can create some type of a mantra for yourself. I always see those little images on Pinterest, like, good things are coming my way. Good things are on their way to me. It sounds cheesy, but it really is the energy of the Eight of Wands. Good things are on their way. Okay, the Fool. So, the Fool is the soul of the tarot. The whole tarot is the story of the Fool. So, this is about a new soul journey. It connects beautifully with the sense of you going through a rebirth, you shedding some type of a layer. And this card is nothing and everything. It's number 0. A lot of the times when we pick this card, we have no idea how good things are about to get, how much change is coming. And we are in the liminal space usually. So when I see the Fool coming up next to the Moon card or close to the Moon card, it just sends a double confirmation. The liminal space is the time between an ending and a new beginning. Our ego, our nervous system is like, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Nothing's happening. It's not happening for me. And actually, you are standing on the verge of something new. You are on the precipice of a new beginning, of a rebirth. But we feel like nothing is happening. So that is a card that just validates that feeling. It's not the truth. It's not the truth. I just saw the Empress coming up with the 7 of Swords. So I think that, and I'm not pointing fingers, this is so me also in so many situations, how I need to see it to believe it. And sometimes I will ask my ancestors, not sometimes, like all the times, I ask my ancestors, show me something. I give you my consent. I'm open. And a part of me waits for symbols and messages and obvious things to prove that they are listening, when actually they don't owe me a confirmation. They don't owe me anything. I owe myself and I owe them my patience and my presence, my receptivity. 10 of Cups, 3 of Cups. So this is my sign as a reader. The 3 of Cups is my direct connection to my guides and ancestors. So maybe you are doing some type of ancestral magic, folk magic, which is my favorite type of magic because it's very simple. It's very easy. And by the way, if ever you have wanted to connect with your ancestors, they are always waiting for consent. They are always waiting for us to say it out loud very clearly and to give them consent. By the way, just a little trick if you've been needing to connect with them. So with the 10 of Cups here, there's completion, clearly. I do feel strongly connected to this past message that came up when I saw the Two of Cups. How another person, decisions and action created a very unfair situation for you. I don't know if there was a promise, as if someone promised you the best life or they promised you things. There was a lot of words. The way I'm perceiving their promises and their words is like you're trying to hold sand in your hand and it's just falling. There's nothing solid. A lot of words, but no actions. There's a cycle that's completing here. Not as if you would wake up one day and never think about this person again or never be affected by how unfair this situation was, but there's acceptance here. There's understanding because you're able to connect the dots, and a lot of what you're about to receive will be connected to that specific ending. The Ten of Cups, again, it's like the journey of the cups end in some way. We're complete with something that happened or a lot of emotional turmoil and ups and downs. The journey of the cups is very intense. But there's so much gratitude and so much beauty. That's why there's a rainbow always on the Ten of Cups. That's why you see people celebrating. There's this arch here as if you're moving through a new door. But this is not about like a rebound type of energy. It really is about someone who took the time to reflect, who took the time to take care of themselves, who worked on radical self-love. You've worked very hard to get where you are right now. You really did. You took action. You listened. You really had to look at yourself in the mirror and figure out, okay, what do I want to do differently? How can I show up in the world differently? How can I be of service? How can I become the most authentic version of myself? And I do feel like you've succeeded. You might not be giving yourself the credit for succeeding, but you did succeed. And the Three of Cups, again, to me, this is ancestors, beloved dead, angels, guides, whatever is invisible, the invisible family. This is how I call this card. Yes, it could be your community. I see the Three of Pentacles way more as, your community, your squad, your friends in the physical world. But the Three of Cups to me is always about my guides, your guides, this connection, how we connect together through this virtual space. And it's a huge confirmation. Good things are on their way to you. I'm smiling because, again, I keep thinking about those little Pinterest pictures and how sometimes I'm like, that's so cheesy. But it still feels good. And why wouldn't it be the truth? Our ego and our nervous systems are going to be getting louder and saying, yeah, well, I believed this in the past and nothing happened. I'm still stuck. I'm still this. And again, the what ifs. And I wish I did things differently. And I wish I've known better. This is all ego. And remember, we really want the ego to be in the back seat because the soul is, with the Fool card, jumping in the driver's seat. It's saying, okay, I really want to live a soul-led life, which is not easy. It's not. Living on the universe timing and your guide's timing, I feel like people have this very glamorous image of what it is and how chill it is, and it's not. It's not. Having to constantly pause and check in with everything that you do. Look at that. To pause and check in. That's so much about your shadow work. That's so much about finding balance for you, knowing when to pause. And yes, the external, like the perception of other people is going to be like, okay, Aries is kind of stuck, or Aries doesn't look like they're doing great, or that, with the Hangman, there's so much about the outside perception. It's not yours. Let them think what they want. Let them say what they want. It's not yours to hold. This is another card of transformation, very, very deep transformation. It's another card of unknown. It's so connected to the moon in so many ways. And it's a card of ending. We shed. This always looked to me like a cocoon, like the butterfly wanting to come out of the cocoon, but its wings are wet. We need time. It's not because we start a new cycle that we're just, starting to run right away. There's this need to figure out and recalibrate, and we're going to be tested over and over again, showing ourselves grace, showing ourselves compassion, being patient with ourselves, understanding that being ruled by Mars, you being like the red planet, like there's so much intensity, there's so much power there, but it also can bring up a lot of frustration and a lot of heavy feelings. The Emperor contains all the difficult feelings, the most difficult of them all. And I really invite you to name feelings and not judge them, to show up for yourself the same way you would show up for your best friend. I've shared this before, but my husband's best friend, since he was almost a baby, is an Aries, and he, throughout the years, also became like a brother to me. He is so compassionate, so loyal. He gives the best compliment. He's always there. But when it comes to him, he needs so much reassurance. He needs that validation and that love in return so badly. And I'm like, the way you perceive us, I wish you could just see yourself in that way just for once. It's crazy how fabulous this human is, like a top-notch human. And still, he sees everyone else in through the eyes of an Aries. It's like he sees everyone as the best person, but when it comes to him, it's very hard to give himself the credit. And I'm like, everything I do, you can do. Everything I accomplish, you can accomplish too. Probably a lot faster, and with more energy, it will be more sustainable. I don't know. I think that Aries, you have this way of lifting other people up. And I just wish that for a moment you could see how precious you are, how powerful you are. I know a lot of you know. I'm sure a lot of Aries are listening and they're like, I know. It's just the universe is not working in my favor right now. I do feel like there's this disconnect, as if you prayed for something, you expected something, it did not happen the way you wanted to. And that may be messed up with how hopeful you are, how joyful you are. And that makes me very, it makes me very emotional right now, what's coming up. The moon, the moon is reflecting so much. And we cannot just snap our fingers and become hopeful again. I totally understand that, but I feel like the moon energy in the month of July, and the sun also, this beautiful balance between the two, it will reflect something to you about yourself. about your own beauty, your heart. And you're going to start giving yourself more credit. You're not going to be comparing or trying to prove anything. You're going to focus on improving, and you're going to focus on checking in. Two of Swords. This is Moon and Libra, baby. This is visually my favorite card. Always been my favorite. The 2 and 3 of Swords, I was always obsessed with the imagery. But I feel like the more I live this card, and I've lived it so many times throughout the years, it's not just that I love the imagery, I love the permission it gives me. This says you're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to not want something. You're allowed to want something today and not want it tomorrow. The moon is very cyclical. It changes every 2.5 days. And it's so connected to our emotions. If you think about the word emotions, it's in motion. You're allowed to change how you feel. And I do believe that with Aries, again, so much of your shadow work is connected to the Venus energy and how maybe you want to be fixed on something. Maybe you want to just keep the same mood and try to find this perfect stability, but it's not balanced. In order to find balance, we need to have bad days. We need to let ourselves go crazy, once in a while. And really true balance is when we're allowed to let ourselves make mistakes, but we come back home into presence. We name the feelings. We are present with the emotions that are coming up. So this is a very profound journey for you. This is so deep and so emotional. And the mix of water and fire is chef's kiss. To me, when there's a lot of water and fire in a reading, it's like I see the cauldron of the witch. I see something boiling. Something is, it's simmering. You need to add the ingredients. The smell is starting to come up. There's something very beautiful. All your senses are activating slowly but surely. And there's something about loving the journey that you're on, loving who you choose to surround yourself with, loving, like your future frequency is all about love. Loving the decisions that you made, loving where it brought you, loving yourself. There's just this love with capital letters, this universal love that you're embodying. And also, I have to honor that tomorrow on July 10th, there's the full moon in Capricorn. Full moons are about release. So let it out, let it go. Identify what you're ready to release, what chapter you're done with, and let it go. Let it burn. So I hope you join me in the extended. I really want to dive into what is this clearing making space for? What's the potential here? What could find you? What is happening with this rebirth and this transformation? There's so much I want to ask, so I hope you join me there. Thank you so much for being here, Aries, and I'll talk to you guys very soon.